So then today we have gathered here to talk about a very important topic, a topic that concerns one of the biggest clubs in the world and why they keep on failing at the final hurdle at the biggest stage in their season. That club is FC Barcelona. And it's been 24 hours, since more than 24 hours since the game against Atletico. And I've had time to reflect, right? I went out for a walk. I saw some of the reviews. I was on Twitter and social media and people talking about the club, the players talking about what happened, the decisions, and watching the game again. Even though I didn't want to, I didn't watch the whole game, but I watched extended highlights. I watched the game again to understand what went wrong. And yeah, I've gathered today here because I feel like the review that I made, it missed some parts because of how sad I was, because of how, no, I wouldn't say heartbroken, because I think I've been heartbroken so many times. You can't break it anymore. This club cannot break my heart anymore. But I was definitely very sad and down. So I didn't really talk about it, expanding on some of the issues that we really had and some of the performances. So today I'm going to talk about the game, firstly, and what went wrong. I'm going to talk about the system and what it really requires and what the future looks like. These three things: what the future looks like, the system, and the system and the complaints on the system, and then the game itself. Let's start with the game itself. Obviously, I'm not going to go in depth because you guys can go watch my review on my channel, where I talked about the game in depth. I didn't talk about it in depth, but through my sad mood, I talked about as much as I could. But some of the aspects I missed were obviously the red card. The red card, I just said, oh, it is what it is. I didn't really care. Was it a red card? For me, I feel like it's a 50-50 decision. Again, I'm going to say again, I'm not trying to be salty, but I feel like it's a 50-50 decision. Danny Olmo was pushed by two hands by Llorente in the penalty box, and that wasn't given as a foul. So if that was deemed as too soft, then why is this deemed as a red card? Because the red card is a very big thing. It changes the game completely. And for you to deem this as a red card, he didn't even look at the monitor for more than like 5 seconds. He literally went there, saw one clip, and said, "Okay, a red card," which was for me a bit stupid. For me, a bit stupid. But moving away from that, some of the defensive performances, I think Juice Kunde, a lot to be desired from him. A lot to be desired from him. I think he doesn't offer Yamal help anymore. He doesn't offer Yamal the proper help anymore. Defensively, he's a liability at times. The goal that Lukman scored, he completely lost Lukman. I know we play a high line, but we really need a goalkeeper that is a goalkeeper, a defender, a fullback that is fast, as athletic. And that brings me to Hansi Flick. The substitutions Hansi Flick made today, I mean, or made on that day, were for me too late. The substitutions were too late, and generally this doesn't happen with Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick's very good with the substitutions he makes. He's very precise with the substitutions he makes, and whenever he makes those substitutions, they tend to show up and they tend to deliver. But for me, these substitutions didn't. I think Frankie De Jong should have come on way before he came on. I mean, 80th minute, you're getting Frankie De Jong on. At that point, why are you even getting him on? And he should have definitely come earlier. I think Gavi had a great game. You could have taken out Pedri, you could have taken out Gavi, you could have kept Pedri on and maybe got De Jong, because as soon as De Jong comes in, Pedri looks better because he gets more freedom. There's more people to mark because people need to mark De Jong and Pedri. They can't just put three men on Pedri and try to cover him up. So for me, definitely needed to get Dion one well before. Taking off Fermin Lopez for Rashford, I think that wasn't too bad. I think that wasn't too bad. I think Rashford had his movements. He had some crosses in the net. He had a ball that he kind of dragged um, into the box that no one was there to finish. So Rashford had his movements. I wasn't too bummed about Fermin coming up, especially with the injury and the nosebleed, that everything that he had. So it wasn't too bad for me. Another substitution I looked at and said, "Oh, that should have come on," was maybe Balde. I think Kunde was really struggling, and I think if Cancelo was moved to right back, which we did in the game against Atletico at Camp Nou when we won 3-0 and almost made the historical comeback. If Cancelo was moved to right back and Balde was going at left back, with the pace Balde has, with the attacking prowess Balde can give us, he is very good at ball progress. You can talk about Balde all you like, but with ball progression and going through defenses with just pure pace and a bit of technicality, Balde is very good at that. And I think Balde was definitely needed, especially with Simeone on the right and Lorente trying to drop in the right with the pace they have. I think Balde would have been a great fit coming into the game. And I think Hansi Flick should have definitely looked at getting Balde on. Another substitution I looked at was taking Ferran Torres off. Now, I understand in hindsight why Lewandowski was brought on, because clearly Atletico looked like they were just going to play that low block and just park the bus at times in the towards the end of the game when they kind of felt like, oh, we're winning now. We kind of secured the result. Let's just park the bus and let's make sure that we don't concede goals. Um, but for me, Ferran Torres was having a brilliant game. I think he was having a brilliant. I think he was having one of his best games of the season. The touches he was taking, the way he was playing through the middle, the way he was connecting with the wingers. I think he was having a brilliant game. And for me, bringing on Lewandowski at that time wasn't the best idea because I'll come to this player now. Lamine Yamal felt tired. Lamine Yamal towards the end of the game felt like he had given his all and now he couldn't give any more. And again, I come to the fact that why Lamine Yamal and Pedri played the 90 minutes against Espanyol. Because you can clearly see after 70th minute, Lamine Yamal was tired. His legs had given up. He couldn't dribble for more than about 6 seconds. As soon as he dribbled for 6 seconds, he had to pause because his legs had given up. And for me, that really shows why Lamine Yamal has been overplayed, clearly, and this season he has been. I've been quite vocal about that. And he shouldn't have played 90 minutes against Spaniel. I'm going to be honest. He could have wanted to score and he could have said, oh, Hansi, I want to play. I don't care. You're the manager. You're the guy. Tell Lamine Yamal, now you're on the bench. You are on the bench. 2-0 up. At first half, we were 2-0 up. Lamine Yamal had got his GA, got 2 assists in both the goals. Just tell him to rest. Just tell him, take a rest. We need you against Atletico. We need you at full fitness for 90 minutes against Atletico. And at the end, when Rooney Badachi came on, who I've been saying again and again should have been used so many times more this season. I think whenever he comes on, he adds a different spark to the attack. He adds a threat to the attack because he's a dribbler, because he can get through those tight spaces, because he can go one-on-one with defenders. His crossing ability, I think, is great. His shooting ability, I think, for the kind of player he is great. And I think we really need to use him more as a backup for Lamine Yamal. I know he plays. I know he's a backup for probably the best player in the world, and that's why he doesn't get used as much. But for me, you have to use him. You have to use him more. He has to be there. He has to be more prominent at times when Barcelona need him most, and he has to come on because I think he adds different legs. You can have Lamine Yamal play through the middle, where it's harder for people to mark just Lamine Yamal because now they have to worry about Rooney. They have to now worry about Lamine and Pedri and Diop, which makes the game more open for Lamine. Lamine from the middle, we've seen it before. He can operate there. He's a very technical player. He's a very smart player. He understands how to operate in from the middle. And I think Rooney Badachi should be used more in every game that we play. Not every game. You don't have to use him every game, but he has to be used more at times. And I feel like using just Lamine and depending on him on the right wing to defend, to attack, to press, and do everything is a bit too much, right? Especially for his um, physical health. But I think those substitutions I feel like could have been better. Danny Olmo was a bit of Danny almost today. Had two very good chances, both created by Lamine Yamal, which were not finished by Danny Olmo, which really tells us that apart from Rafinha, I don't look at anyone in this team and go, "Ooh, you guys are good finishers." Like, if you go one on one with the goalkeeper, you will finish, or you will get us out of this trouble through a goal by yourself. I don't look at anyone apart from Rafinha. Rafinha is the outright best finisher we have on the team. Every time he gets the ball, he will get a goal. He will get his goal. He will make the right decision. Him and Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal is not really a goal scorer. He's a creator, right? He's not unlocked that goal scoring instinct yet, but Rafinha has, and he's the only one who has. Lewandowski was that last season for us, but since he's fallen off, I feel like Rafinha is the only one who has that capability. And now, since he's out, I feel like everyone else just doesn't step up and miss easy chances. Ferran Torres obviously was great today. I think I don't know complaints from him, but even him at times in the season has been so inconsistent in finishing his chances. So for me, that is something we have to go into the market and look at, and that gets me to the point of the system. Right, I'm going to get to the system now, and this is where I come to Hansi Flick. For me, to play Hansi Flick system, I don't have the problem with the system. But the system needs certain profiles of players. If you want to play a high line, a ridiculous high line, a kamikaze high line, you need physically physical and smart defenders at the back. You need defenders that are pure athletes, like Van de Ven, Balde. Like these guys can run back at full speed, run ahead at full speed, can cover ground like nobody can cover large spaces on their own. Or players like Bastoni, who are very smart with defending, like Inigo or Bastoni, very smart with defending, very experienced, understand how to cover spaces and how to keep the ball and not make risky passes, and how to not get a red card. I mean, he got Bastoni got a red card, but in general, Bastoni is brilliant with it, and so is Van der Ven. So for me, I think we definitely need these players. And people have been complaining about Pau Kubasi a lot, but think about this, guys. Pau Kubasi, at the age of 19, has been given keys to a defense that, first of all, keeps changing. One day it's Kunde on the right back, one day it's Hector, one day it's Hector 4 in last season, but this season it's Cancelo or Eric Garcia. One day he has Gerard Martinez as centre back partnership. One day he has Araujo. One day he has Eric Garcia again. The left back he has Cancelo or Balde. In the midfield, Pedri been injured for about 3 months, so he has different players in the midfield playing in front of him, or sometimes De Jong's injured, so he has different players playing in front of him. So for me, this 19-year-old is an unbelievable defender, but you've given him too much to handle at, at the age he is. He's a brilliant defender, but you could give that to someone like Van Dijk and he would struggle to handle that because of how high we play. First of all, he has to keep the high line and kind of impose himself on all the defenders, saying them to keep the high line. We're also looking ahead. We're also progressing the ball. We're also making line breaking passes. We're also playing defenders that keep switching around every single game at times. So for me, I don't really blame any of them. I don't blame Eric Garcia. I don't blame Jaron Martin. I don't blame Pau Kubasi because these guys, Pau Kubasi is a great defender, a lead defender, but he definitely needs to be paired up with someone more experienced, someone better, right? Same with John Martin. He's a left back. He's converted to centre back. He's done well for us, but let's be honest, he's not some world class defender yet, right? And so is Eric Garcia. Eric Garcia is not as well. And Araujo, I mean, I'm gonna not speak about Araujo. I'm gonna piece like something crazy. So for me, when Hansi Flick knows that this is the situation. I don't understand the stubbornness to continue playing this high line. You understand you don't have the players. You understand you don't have the profiles. You understand you don't have Rafinha to lead the press. You understand all of these things, yet you continue to play this high line. And again, I don't want to come in and complain about this high line, this and that, because it has got a success last season. It has got a success this season. We're going to win La Liga. We're going to win the Super Cup. But at times, it has cost us big time in big stages of the Champions League. This game in the first leg cost us. Second leg cost us at the end again. Inter Milan last season cost us again. And when you don't have these defenders, when you don't have the elite defenders, because the board just because we are too broke, we can't buy them. Why do we have to play this highline? Why can't we just drop back and play a bit safer? Why can't we play like PSG or Bayern Munich, who also play a highline, but they they're more secured, they're more balanced. They don't just keep playing a highline all game. They understand when to defend. They understand when to attack. They understand when to drop back. They understand these aspects of the game. You can't continue to press and make useless runs behind every single game without gaining control of the game, because clearly we play on chaos in these big matches. Inter last season, Atletico this season, we play on chaos. It's go from one end to the other, one end to the other, and the amount of useless running our defenders, our midfielders, and our attackers have to do is terrible. I mean, why am I having Lamine Yamal run back 100 meters every game because he has to freaking maintain some defense because someone's trying to attack and he has to go back and cover for them? I don't want Lamine Yamal to do that. I would rather Lamine Yamal just stay up front and press from up front and not try to go too behind there to defend. You guys might say, that's just arrogant," but let's be honest. Lamine Yamal is our best player. Lamine Yamal is our best creator. Lamine Yamal can do so much more in the final third. He needs to conserve his energy to make a difference in the final third, not go back and run back and try to do whatever Hansi Flick wants him to do at times. He doesn't need to do that. He needs other players to do that, because if he were more balanced, he wouldn't have to do it. So for me, it really comes down to Hansi Flick and the board for, first of all, not getting the players Hansi Flick needs, and second of all, for Hansi Flick not adapting to the players he has to work with. And it was going to cost at some point in big game, and everyone's been saying it throughout the season. that it will cost Barcelona at some point in big games, and it has costed us in a big game this season. So that's about the system. Now, let's talk about the future. What the future looks like for Barcelona under Hansi Flick and all these players. I'm going to come in here and say, I think we have a great team. I think we have a great team. We have some great players in their positions. But there's positions that we definitely need to upgrade on. And let's talk about the positions at first and which positions we have great players and which positions we need an upgrade on. So, firstly, the goalkeeper position. I think that's secure. I think we have a goalkeeper for at least the next 5, 6 years minimum in John Gasquet. He's only 25 years old. He'll be there for 10 years if he can, right? So we have one of the best goalkeepers at disposal, and that's amazing. So goalkeeper, we're secured. Centre back, we need a centre back. We need a world class centre back, whether that be Bastoni from Inter Milan for 60 million, whether that be Van der Ven, because Tottenham might get relegated. He might want to leave for cheaper price. We can get him, and I think he'll be a great fit with his team with the pace he has, with the ball progression he can do, his passing. He's left footed. He's got great experience. He'll be a great addition. And another centre back I look at is Marco Senesi from Bournemouth. I don't know if his first name is Marco. I think it's, but I'll call him Senesi from Bournemouth. He's coming for a free. He's literally a free agent this summer. And I feel like Barcelona needs to go in and get this guy because I feel like we don't need just one defender. I think we need two. We need two great defenders to come in and play for this team. Then I look at the right back position. Jules Koundé, I, I want to give him another season because I think he's a great right back when he plays. He's one of the best. Last season, he was one of the best right backs in the world, right? Apart from Hakimi. So I want to give Jules Koundé another season. I know the abilities of Jules Koundé and I know how good he can be. But also, we need another fullback. And I think the best opportunity we're going to get this fullback is Cancelo. He's going to cost us about 10 to 15 million. And I think we got to take it. We got to buy him from Al. I think he's shown us again and again how good he is, how brilliant he is. He can play right back, he can play left back. And I think he is going to be a great addition to this team. And I think we definitely need to go in and sign Joe Cancelo. I think that's one player I look at and go, yeah, we need this guy and we need to sign him. So that's one player. That's what definitely Cancelo is someone we really need to look into and get. Now, coming to the attack, I think the most important position we need is actually not a centre back, but a striker. I think we need a proper world class striker who is consistent with his finishing. Now, there's some options, right? Some options that are just a dream. They're a pipe dream that we can never get. The likes of Haaland. And I think the likes of Alvarez. I think Alvarez is a dream that I don't think is going to happen. I think he has a 500 million release clause on him. He's done well with Atletico this season. And would he want to leave Atletico? He loves Barcelona. We all know that. But would Atletico want to sell him for less than 100 million? No. They'll easily be asking us for 120, 150 million. And Laporta's already said that the maximum we'll spend on any transfer is 100 million. That's our cap. And also, I don't think we should be spending 120 or 150 on Alvarez. We've seen how these kind of transfers end, and I don't think it's needed at all. One transfer I look at again, who could be a reality, but it'd be very hard to be a reality, is Victor Osimhen. I think Victor Osimhen for this system and for this Barcelona is the perfect fit. Do I think we can get him for less than 100 million? I don't know. If he costs us 100 million, I think we take him. I think we need to get Victor Osimhen. If it's 100 million, go and get him. Anything more is just not possible. We don't have the finances to do it. Um, but I think Victor Osimhen is my top priority. If we can get him and if we can push for him and if he wants to leave Galatasaray and join Barcelona, then I would say go out there and get this guy because he's perfect. Another striker, there's only two strikers that I look at that could be cheaper options and could do us very good for about 3 to 4 seasons are Garassi and Marcus Thuram from Inter. I think Thuram, he has his inconsistency at times, but I think he's a very great striker. He's good at pressing. He understands to sacrifice for the team. He's imposing. He's great at headers, and that's what we need. Well, I think he could be a great shout for this team. Another striker who's proven to be a consistent batsman, especially in the Champions League and in the league, is Garassi. He's not the fastest. He's not the not the most athletically unbelievable guy, but he's a batsman. He's the back. Last season, I think he got the most goals in the Champions League with 13 or 14 goals, tied with Rafinha. Um, he has shown that in big moments you can cross the ball into him. You can make him. He is an imposing striker, and in the box, inside the box, his instincts are unbelievable. My bad. This team's giving me asthma. I'm joking. Um, so I think Garassi is such an imposing figure in the box. The way he moves in the box is unbelievable. He's got great headers. He scored a hat trick against Barcelona last season, so we know running in behind, he can do the job. And I think he will be a great fit, especially the amount of money he costs because he's older. I think he's like 29, 30. Because he's older, it will cost us less money. And in his prime, he's basically in his prime. 29, 30 is more or less his prime. And I think he can give us 3 seasons easily, right? And that's why I look at Gurasi as an option that we definitely need to go into the market and look at seeing our financial situation. He'll probably cost us around 60, 70 million. And I think he'll be a great, great addition to this team, and an addition that's very, very much needed. Uh, then I look at another position, which we definitely need again, left wing, right? Left wing position. Rashford is there for 30 million. We can buy him for 30 million. Do I think we need to buy him for 30 million? I don't think so. I'll tell you why. First of all, he's older. Second of all, he's a great player. He's 30 million is, you could say, a bargain. But I've seen him enough, and I feel like in front of goal, when Rafinha is not there, we need someone who can score these goals. And I feel like Rashford really lacks this aspect. And looking at his shooting and looking at his ability to shoot, you don't realize why he. I don't understand why he lacks it, because I feel like as soon as he's one on with the goalkeeper, he gets so confused. He gets so confused on where to finish. He just ends up putting in the most boring shot, putting the most easy shot to save, and it cost us. It cost him quite a lot in the first leg because I feel like he had 2 chances where he should have finished and he didn't. Um, and because of that, I feel like the pros, although he's cheaper, he's fast, he's physical, the cons of him not shooting and how old he is play against us, and that's why I think there's 2 options that I think we need to look at that could do us good. One is Antonio Nusa from Leipzig. I think Antonio Nusa is only 20 years old. He's a young prospect. He's very good technically. He's he's kind of like, he's not, I'm not going to say he's like Lamine Yamal, because no one's like Lamine Yamal. He's the best, right? But he's very good. He's kind of like Rooney Baldacci. He's good at dribbling. He can get through tight spaces. He can get through players. He can go one on one with players. He's not scared to go one on one with the players. He's shooting. Yes, you could desire more, but he's a great creative player, and the shooting can definitely be improved. And as a 20-year-old, I think this is a great prospect going into the future, because he's going to give us about, if he turns out to be as good as his potential sees and as good as he has been in Leipzig, you can look at him going out to be one of the best wingers in the world at the age of 24, 25. And, he can go on for like 6, 7 years and give us some great years at his best. So I think he can definitely be one we need to look at. And his pace as well is very good. He's a very, very fast player, Antonio Nusa. And he is, for me, a great market opportunity because he's not going to cost us too much either. I think he'll be around 50 million, which is a great price for a player that's only 20 and is so unbelievable in terms of ability, in terms of taking on players and creating. So for me, he's someone we definitely need to go in and look at and see if we can get, because I think he'll be a great opportunity in the market that we could get. And I think last season I wanted to for us to get him because I think last season he was in the market for around 30 million, which was a steal deal according to me. But clearly, I don't know what's up with the finances. No one really tells us, so we clearly didn't have the money to get him. Um, and then I think one another player I look at and think, oh, he's possible is Andres Schildrup. I think I pronounced that right. From Benfica, he's one that has been linked to Barcelona now quite a few times. I've seen some posts around him. He's from Benfica. He's also a very pacey winger. He's great at one-on-ones, and his finishing ability yet a lot to be. It could be better, but again, a very young winger and a winger with great potential and someone we could look at again explore the left wing position, because when Rafinha's out, we definitely need someone who is at least good at one-on-ones, because then it attracts more players towards him and leaves Lamine Yamal a bit more space so he's not getting quadrupled on. Because right currently with Rashford, it feels like no one really cares about Rashford. They're just 1v1ing him and quadruple and literally putting forward Lamine. So with these players, we could definitely mitigate that factor and help Lamine. So these are some of the positions I look at that we need to get. So the three positions that I think we definitely need to get, I would sorry, the four position. I think these four positions we definitely need to get. Striker, that's the most important for me. Centre back, that's the second most important for me. Thirdly, I think fullback, that's the third most important, and fourth is the left wing position. Fullback, I feel like we could probably put it forward. I think left wing is probably more important. So I'll say left wing third, and then fourth fullback. So these are the four positions. These are some of the players we could go and look into the market and get. Will we be able to get them? I don't know. I think out of the four players that I just told, out of the four positions I told you, even if we fill about three of them, I'm happy, right? But definitely, there's some very good market opportunities in the summer market this season, and Barcelona really need to go into this market and be a serious club for once in the market. So those are my thoughts on the match, on what the future of Barcelona looks like, and this team. I believe in it. I think this is a team I believe in, and with the with certain changes, I think this manager and this team and the best player in the world can take us to glory and take us to promised land. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Tell me what you guys think, and let me know in the comments if you guys have any other signings that we could talk about and that you guys think should Barcelona should look at. And like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.